but are we really there? And how are we going to get there? And what can we do about that? So that's really what I want to really talk to you guys about today and have that conversation. So I want to obviously acknowledge the great folks, scientists and engineers from AT&T Labs who really contributed to this presentation. I have the pleasure of running AT&T Labs Advanced Technology. So we have a lot of the work that's going on in AT&T. We drive that in the area of AI. So first question I just want to answer is that why AT&T? Why AT&T Labs? I think most of you know that really the birth of AI started with pioneers like Claude Shannon, who did that really at AT&T Labs, at the Bell Labs where we've come from. In fact, the first workshop, the first event like this in AI happened in '56 at Dartmouth. It was organized by Claude Shannon and his colleagues. AT&T Labs never stopped working on AI, never stopped working on machine learning. In fact, some of the breakthroughs in machine learning and AI, like AdaBoost support vector machines, all came from AT&T Labs. Some of the pioneering work by Yann LeCun on convolutional deep learning actually happened at AT&T Labs in the '80s when Yann was working at AT&T Labs as one of our colleagues. So there's a lot of interest in AT&T in this space. And AT&T has been really working on this area for really several decades. The question is that where are we going with this? And what are really how are we going to really drive adoption in this space? And that's really, again, part of my presentation. So if you look at just the past 5 years, we are a lot of breakthroughs in deep learning and AI. Most of you know that the algorithms in deep learning and AI are not new. They were invented 30, 40 years ago. A lot of these pioneers in the '70s and '80s created those algorithms. What's really new is the compute power, the data, the understanding of the applications, the mobility side of this, that we can now run with a mobile phone that we couldn't do that before. But a lot of breakthroughs have really led to the visibility and the importance of this area towards driving automation. And what I heard today, it's all about intelligence. Great talks today. It was already all about how AI can be used for intelligence and automation, to improve our life, to improve the experience, to drive new applications. A lot of successful deployments. What you use every day in search, if you're talking to your Echo application, Siri, etc., that's really using machine learning and AI technologies. What you probably don't know is that the research behind that started 30, 40 years ago. There are tens of thousands of papers, research papers in this space for the past 30, 40 years. 30, 40 years later, we're able to commercialize these areas. But is that it? Is AI all about voice recognition and facial recognition and search? Or is there more to it? The third one is that there's, as you saw in the video, there are really significant investments by VCs and businesses. You saw about $12 billion by VCs in the past 3 years. Businesses double that, and there's more to come. Great story. Are we there? Actually, we don't know yet. I'll just answer that question in a few minutes. Let's look behind the scene. We talk about automation and AI, but how are we creating these AI agents? If you take simply the voice recognition system that you deal with today, hundreds of thousands of hours of speech are used to build these machine learning models. They take months to tune. Hundreds of these models are built so that one is going to be deployed. Tons of manual labor goes in to label these hours and hours of speech. The words, the ontology, etc. There's a lot of sweating that goes behind the scene, just so that we have one application that can actually do automation. That's significantly cumbersome, and as a result, few companies with a deep pocket can do that. Others can't. Number two is that we still have issues with privacy and algorithms, algorithmic bias. AI is as good as what data you give it. You bias your data, which all data are biased in some form. Your systems are going to be biased. Their privacy questions have been asked many times. There are concerns about AI systems that we really have not addressed yet. 3 is that it's become a competition about talent, scale, and deployment are really very few. There are very few talents. You need master's PhDs in this space to really build one of these systems. If you look at all the talks today, there's one thing in common is that you need that talent. You need a tremendous investment to scale these applications. And if you look at the deployment, there are few. There are few of those deployments, successful deployments, that we can really talk about. So the question is, what are we going to do about it? Every company is doing their own thing. Every company is building their own tool. Every company is sort of trying to compete in this space and trying to figure out what do they want to do when they grow up in this space. And I want to really talk to you about how we're going to sort of change that ecosystem by collaborating together. A month ago, we announced, as part of the Linux Foundation, a collaboration project called Acumus. AT&T is a company that is both have been developing technologies in this space, but most importantly, we're a customer. We're a user of AI. We're a customer of machine learning. We use it all across our business. Billions of dollars at stake. That's where we actually use it. We started this effort because we really want to go from AI being a buzz to the real AI, where really AI systems are really driving economic value, business value to companies, while keeping the privacy of data, making sure that you continue to own your data, and do it in such a way that we can lower the barrier to entry, so that building an AI system is like building a website, which is absolutely not the case today. We started this effort, we developed this with Tech Mahindra as part of the Linux Foundation. Many companies are joining us. You'll hear more about announcements over the next few weeks on this. We encourage you to join us about building AI globally, as opposed to company by company wide. It's that collaboration where we believe it will really change the ecosystem. Questions are, why are we doing it? As a customer of the technology, number one is that there are a lot of open source capabilities, a lot of tools. Which one do we use? Within AT&T, we have about 20 tools that we use. Some are ours, we put in open source. Some are our vendors specific, some are open source. Which one do we use? And none of them connect with each other. They're silos. Built by companies competing, they want you to use their tool for their cloud environment. These tools don't talk to each other. Number two, as you've heard today, to build a machine learning model as part of an AI system takes months of work. Just managing the data, curating the data, cleaning the data, then building maybe 20 models, tuning them, configuring them. It takes a long, long time. And then the next person comes in, and I'll speak for AT&T as an example. We pretty much reinvent the wheel again. We need a place, a global, broad place, a marketplace where we don't reinvent the wheel. I could reuse what others have built. I'll pay for it if I need to. Number three, I mentioned to you is that maybe I can't get all companies to do the same thing and interoperate, but I want to make sure that what the tools provide from anybody, including your own company, ends up being Legos, not snowflakes that don't talk to each other. And this is the concept of an AI microservice. Those microservices, whether they're built with tool A or tool B or tool C, should interoperate. You keep your secret sauce. You can develop your own tools, but the outcome should be that I can interoperate with others, so I can build new services, and quickly. An ecosystem for expediting innovation. AI should not be restricted to big companies. Small, medium, universities, anybody should be able to contribute, leverage, and build applications with AI. And that's really not the case widely today. I want to play you, let me start with. I'm going to go to the next slide, and I'm going to play you a video of what Acumus is, and we'll take it from there.
One of the biggest things we've learned over here is that as you apply AI, that knowledge base is actually a catalyst that applies, that allows the change to happen. And so we've invested internally significant amounts of management, leadership, attention, and obviously investments in actually bringing awareness in our employee pool, and then putting together a learning and development program that allows people to toolkits and the tools that they need to actually apply. And I think as we work with clients, and most of our clients think about the future of work, think about work as a future of their employee base, this is a really important tenet that isn't central to the AI journey, but it's very important that you're on the enterprise around it. So that brings me to my final set of comments. And I'll tell you, beyond sort of those business model and kind of building ideas, going on to the next level of detail, here's the technology challenges, Fortune 500 companies, we believe are faced in deploying artificial intelligence. And I would assume this will relate to this. Number one, innovation is now happening